curious about your, what you just described is a very kind of cultural Jewish connection to your identity. Do you mind speaking a little bit about how you identify? I mean, you talked about, I think in your book, about your connection to Romamu, to the rabbis.
I'm trying to see if I have this quote in my book. I'm not sure if I put it in there, but I sometimes joke that after I left, and I think a lot of people will leave, I had post-God traumatic disorder. It's a very real thing. I don't think it's in the DSA yet, the diagnostic, whatever, but it's DSM, whatever. No, it's DSM, right? DSM, sorry. DSA is the Democratic Socialist of America. Anyway, yeah, so the DSM, it's not in there yet, but maybe it should be. I'm serious. Like, it's a very fascinating topic. But it was definitely that part where I was angry at everything Jewish. After a while, and I think to me it started out with very, like, dare I say, stupid sentimental things like the food, but it quickly expanded to, like, I like the food, I like the songs, I like a lot of messages about Judaism, like the life cycle and year cycle events. I think Shabbat is an extremely powerful experience. Maybe not the Shabbat where I can't use my phone and can't watch TV, but the Shabbat where for example, I took on lighting Shabbat candles, lighting Friday night candles, over 5 years ago. And I haven't missed a week since. And I started doing it for totally non-religious reasons. It was, as like time passed on, quickly after I left, as a way of trying to deal with my own identity, I would use, I was struggling with addiction to, like, get rid of myself, so to speak. And then I went sober in December of 2014, and I've been sober for since then, which is one of my biggest accomplishments. That is, I think, if I may say. But after that, I was dealing with depression a lot because up to the time that I came out, and I do have to say it doesn't work like that for everyone, but I was really lucky that ever since I came out, I haven't had to deal with depression at all, which is a blessing. But during these, like, few months between being sober and coming out, which were the hardest probably in my life, I reached a point where I was going sometimes weeks of just, like, following the motions without actually doing anything, without ever stopping. And I would just go to class, come home, go into my room, not talk to anyone. So I started doing this where every Friday night, I'm forcing myself to make a short stop, light candles, and do something for Shabbat. That meant going to a service, going to a meal, or going to watch a movie with friends. It didn't matter. But doing something for Shabbat, which quite frankly, at its core, is what Shabbat is about.
Yeah.
I don't relate to the Shabbat that is more about following a ton of rules, whose origin, for anyone who has studied it, has something to do with the tabernacle in the desert, which doesn't make a lot of sense when you think about it. It's like all these rules that the rabbis kind of made up and then told us that it's in the Bible, but it's not in the Bible. Anyway, we don't have to go into all the philosophical details. But I think at its core, it's about making that short stop and finding ways to celebrate. And that became something so beautiful, something so powerful to me. And many other things about Judaism. So today, I like to say I'm not observant at all. I celebrate. I don't observe Judaism, I celebrate. I don't observe Shabbat, I celebrate. Which also means that I really believe that we all have our own unique kind of place. I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all Judaism. I don't think we can have a fast food Judaism. There is something that works for everyone in different ways. And it is the reason why I love so many, like, progressive movements, whether it's a reform, reconstructionist, renewal, these kind of movements. And we can talk about specific books if anyone wants to read that have been helpful to me, but I think everyone finds different parts. And to me, it's another part that I find so, I spend a lot of time in Israel, for example. My dad is Israeli, I'm an Israeli citizen. I have a lot of friends there. I have way too much family there. My grandma's family has lived there for for generations. Like, my grandmother's great-grandmother is, like, buried on the Mount of Olives. So, like, really, like, been there for generations. But one of the things that I love about U.S. Judaism that I think is a lot better in the U.S. than in Israel is the diversity of Jewish practices. Mm-hmm. In Israel, we joke that, like, secular Jews, the synagogue they don't go to is an Orthodox synagogue, which I think is kind of sad. I understand it's a very different culture, and I'm the last person to tell anyone what to do. But the fact that in New York alone, like within walking distance of my house, I have a buffet of services that I want to go to. Everything from Hasidic mechitza, where the prayers are more like reading a book than anything, to really beautiful bands with live music and everything in between, and like alternative services. And I think that is something so beautiful that we have created. It's like whenever people start looking down on American Judaism, I'm like, I think we actually have something that is uniquely beautiful.